that they have opportunities for RV setup there while they're participating in the golf tour. My home resort also has this big musical festival at the end of the summer, and a lot of people RV in from Indiana and places like that, and surrounding states to. Sometimes people come from even as far away as over as Iowa and come to that for those kinds of events. So think about what your particular kind of event that you enjoy and the kind of vacationing that you enjoy. And to be honest, I think we're at a point now where whatever kind of vacationing you enjoy, whether it's rustic camping all the way up to high end luxury vacationing, you can experience all of that. To that end, I want to give a shout out to three resorts that have recently followed us on Instagram and on Twitter. The Laguna del Sol Resort in Wilton, California, and the Exor Resort in it just slipped me. I think those guys are in Spain, and they have a really high end looking place. You might want to check out their website. Exornat is their Twitter feed. And then Mirror Vista Resort in Tucson, Arizona. Thanks for following, folks, and I'm sure they're gearing up for their summer season, and those are opportunities for you to check out some places. As I mentioned, there are just so many different opportunities and different kinds of accommodations and experiences that you can have in your clothes-free living. You shouldn't be caught not having an experience that you don't want to have for your summer clothes-free experience. So get to planning, okay? Start planning now. Start thinking about what you want to do, where you want to go, how much you want to spend, what kinds of things you want to do, and you can have, I think, a fantastic clothes-free summer. The last thing I want to mention, I've almost forgot to mention this, one clothes-free option, unfortunately that's dwindling around the country, is going to a clothing optional beach. That's certainly a clothing optional or clothes-free summer opportunity. Like I said, unfortunately, the options are getting fewer and fewer all the time, but there are still some out there. Hippie Hollow in Austin, Texas, is one in the south, and in Florida, Haulover Beach. On the East Coast, there's Gunnison Beach, and on the West Coast there's Blacks Beach, and unfortunately we don't have any option to give you if you're living in the Midwest right now. Nothing that I know of that's regularly, even if it's unofficial, in the Midwest, because Mazo Beach, you might have heard or read on the website, has recently been closed. And there are folks from the Nature's Action Committee working hard to try to reverse that closure for clothing optional beach going. Keep in touch with clothesfreelife.com to hear updates about what's going on with that. And on that same note, last broadcast, actually two broadcasts ago, broadcast number 10, we talked about the fact that the city council in Wasaga had approved a tentative 3-year trial period for having a clothing optional beach there. Well, it was only a committee of the council that had approved that trial period. When the vote went to the full council, it was turned down. So that's really disappointing. That we were talking today on chatting with the folks from Freedom Fields, which is also in that area in Canada. Freedom Fields, the owners there are fantastic folks, If you are on the Canadian side of the border, we really encourage you to check out the two fantastic resorts around that in the Ontario area that we know of, first Freedom Fields and then Bear Oaks Naturist Park. But we were talking with the folks from Freedom Fields today, and they wanted us to remind folks that there might be some pushback now by law enforcement people if you go to Wasaga Beach and which has been clothing optional unofficially, unofficially for a long time. But now that it was brought into the news, there's a little worry that this coming summer that law enforcement officials might kind of descend on the place and start ticketing the people. And if you're not on top of this information, that the official status as clothing optional was denied, you might run into some problems there. So pass the word out if you're a Canadian listener to the live broadcast or to the podcast when you listen to this. So that's the majority of what we wanted to talk about today in terms of close-free summer plans and close-free living. I would like to take the rest of our broadcast to do just a tiny little editorial. So bear with me. From time to time on this broadcast, we're going to do a little bit of editorializing. And by editorializing, I mean we're talking about this is my opinion about stuff, and I'm not reporting information or facts. It's just what I observe. So here's my editorial for this special edition. Stop the bashing, right? Stop the nudie bashing. I am observing what is a disturbing trend, in my opinion, online among people who are a part of the naturist and nudist community. And what I see happening is that folks, and I've been on the receiving end of this, folks disagree about something that someone else says or does, and they feel like they have to jump down that person's throat, and they do this very negative kind of bashing, shaming, and undermining of people because you disagree with their perspective. Now, let me say this, right? Disagreements are not bad. Disagreements are good. They help, in my opinion, us to sharpen the way we think about things and broaden our perspective. But there's a way to disagree, as the cliche says, without being disagreeable. Keep the conversation about the disagreement on subject and the substance of the topic or the issue on which you disagree. That's my opinion, right? There's no need to start getting personal and name calling and doing all of this stuff that I'm observing out there in the online naturist nerdist community. It doesn't help anybody. It doesn't help the cause, and it doesn't help prove anything about either of the parties involved. It doesn't help prove that one party is any less of a naturist or nudist, and it doesn't prove that the other party is any more of a naturist or nudist. It's useless. It doesn't help anybody if you start to personalize it and call names and make judgments about other people. And let me say this, that also extends to the notion of people who aren't a part of the community. You don't change anybody's mind by getting in their face and calling them names. Let's get past that. Let's get over that. And, this whole textiles are dumb, textiles are stupid, textiles need to get a grip, get over it. You don't get anybody over to your side by making them feel more bad about something that they believe, right? And the thing that drives me nuts about this is um, so I want to really, really encourage us to really think about this, to not um, just to not engage in this process. Let's. I think it goes a long way. It can go a long way towards promoting the cause if what people see is something that's positive, something that something that's going to say here are the benefits. Here are the reasons why. Not, hey, you're bad because you wear clothes and I hate clothes. What does that mean? You know, why not talk about all the wonderful things you experience in clothes free living? Now, let me say this. There is a place to draw the line, and that we draw the line, that I draw the line. If you start to drift into sexual stuff, or let me put it this way, if you start to drift away from non sexual clothes free living, then I draw the line. Um, that's my thinking. That's my opinion. And I'm gonna be putting up a post later on today about it, along with a little bit of an audio uh, bite related to that. And what I want to encourage you to do, this is a new feature on our website, is that you can add an audio response to these audio bites. So if you go to the website and you see one of these audio bites in a post, there's a little button at the bottom of it that says reply, and you can click that button and reply. If you have the app that we use to create these little audio bites, it'll take you to the app where you can post the audio reply. If you don't, it'll take you to the web, and you can post a reply on the app website, and we can get a little dialogue going back and forth by audio, not just by writing. So that's something we really want to invite you to use. We're going to be using it to make the website much more interactive because we want to hear from you. We want to hear from our listeners. We want to hear from our visitors. We want to hear your perspective. We're not above criticism or critique. We just want to keep it civil on the substance and not personal and judgmental. So please do check out. We have a couple of audio bites already on the website. One about the March Madness Straight Out of Clothes Photo Challenge, which, by the way, we have a three-way tie in that the winner is going to be drawn the night of the college basketball championship, April 4th, live drawing on Periscope. Stay tuned for that. It's going to be fun. Our first live Periscope broadcast. We're going to choose the winner by putting the names of the three entrants into a bag, pulling the winner out, and the winner will get either a straight out of clothes T-shirt or a straight out of clothes mug. A couple of last things to talk about before we wrap up here. Today, April 1, is the first day of the Clothes Free Poetry Contest, headed up by our very own editor, Anthony Hart. And just want to encourage you, whether you think you're an expert poet, or longtime poet, or new poet, or never written a poem before, this is all about you and your experience. If you like poetry, give it a whirl. Write about the theme this year, which is the body as poetry. Write about your experience of what it means for your body, what it means for your body to be poetry. Visit the website for details and get your poem in now. So grab your quill, grab your marker, grab your crayon, grab your fountain pen, grab your pencil, grab your ballpoint pen, grab whatever you use to become a scribe and start writing your poems and submit your entry. The entries will be received between April 1 and April 15. Give it a try, give it a whirl, and see